Welcome to Leaders and Learners. My name is Tanya McKenzie, and you can find me at the intersection of public relations and leadership. Join us as we talk to organizational leaders, elected officials, experts, authors, artists, and personalities, sharing their stories, talking about how they got to where they are and how they continue to learn and lead the way. So without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Leaders and Learners, where we all know that the best leaders are lifetime learners. And I have a guest with me today that is so exciting for me. Y'all know I'm a baseball mom, and I learned a lot about his organization. They've launched an app. So it's a baseball organization. They done launched the app. They have some new and exciting things coming up. I've been able to introduce him to some people. And today I get to introduce you to one of my newest Greek friends. He's a member of Omega Psi Phi out in Chicago. Let's introduce you to Coach E, the guru. How you doing, Coach E?
Hey, Tanya, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here, Ernest. It's taken a while, but during that time that we've started conversation, I've been able to see you guys do some really cool things. I want you to introduce yourself to the people. Let them know a little bit about how you got to where you are. You're highly educated, you love baseball, but now you are doing something kind of off the beaten path, but it's benefiting all of us. So let the people know.
Absolutely. What's up, everybody, to all the viewers of Saying the Shores. My name is Ernest Horton, a.k.a. Coach Edo of Guru. Born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Played high school baseball at Hyde Park Academy. Was fortunate enough to receive a collegiate baseball scholarship to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Played there from 2005 to 2009. Earned my bachelor's degree in health and physical education. I was pretty good, but not good enough to make it to the Major League Baseball. Came back home, started teaching health and PE. Earned my master's degree in 2013 in educational leadership. So I'm a licensed principal, but I said I don't like all that paperwork, administrative work. But really fell in love with coaching, really fell in love with helping minorities in the game of baseball. So I've been coaching since 2010. So that's 13 years now. Recently in 2018, we started a brand called Black Baseball Matters. We saw a lot of initiatives that, of course, Major League Baseball were doing, the Cubs, White Sox, all 30 Major League teams. But we wanted to take a deeper dive, right? We understood and knew that of course, the easy thing to say is, well, why Blacks are not playing baseball is because of the money, right? And then the equipment and all these reasons that, are obviously on surface level. But when we dug deeper and we really started paying attention to the data, so what we found out was the more affluent households, their kids were succeeding at a higher level. Of course, larger income means their kids get more resources. So we want to close that gap and change the narrative. So what we did was create Black Baseball Matters. We're a company that provides baseball resources to kids from ages 4 all the way up to 18. So similar to, the basketball training, we took that model and we just applied it to baseball. So we offer wraparound services. What we do is all our training that we have, our camps and everything is free for the kid, no matter what your economic background or economic situation, is for your family. What we do is we find funding for that coach to still make his $50 an hour, because we understand it's still a business. It's still, people have to get paid, but we didn't want our families having to, choose between paying their mortgage or paying for this baseball lesson, right? And we noticed that if you really target the training, now it don't matter what type of glove you got, the bat, and all the actual learning and programming and training of African Americans in the game of baseball, they'll have success and they'll stay playing in the game of baseball. So we're not saying that we're going to get everybody to the major leagues, right? We're not saying that, but we want that young lady or young man to reach their ceiling. If their ceiling is Division I, we want to get them there, right? With no excuse. One of the unique things that we have that we were able to do was connect with a lot of ex-pros and ex-college guys through our network, and they've been wonderful. So we operate in the off-season of baseball. Off-season, is from like August to February. So those are when we do our camps, clinics, and really, training sessions. During the season, when February hits all the way to July, we have events. So that's the part about, it's kind of twofold. We do the training and then we do the showcase. We want to highlight and showcase these minorities playing the game of baseball. So one of our recent events, I know Tyan's going to touch on it, we just had our Black Baseball Matters Classic. This is our marquee event. This is what you're going to hear every 15-second and 30-second elevator pitch about. So this was our second annual Black Baseball Matters Classic. It was held in Chicago in the minor league stadium, Windy City Thunderbolt Stadium. This year, we had 3,000. Yeah, that's right. It's 3,000. Look it up online. We had 3,000 in-person attendees, and then another 767 watch online. So the Black Baseball Matters Classic, we chose 4 public high schools in Chicago, public schools, not Catholic. Nobody pays for it. That services minority baseball players. So we did a lot of promotion around it, radio slots, the whole 9. And, you know, we wanted to showcase these young men to our colleges, pro scouts, and everything like that. So it was wonderful. We call it the baseball block party in Chicago. So we're doing something that's changing the narrative and that has never been done before in remembrance of the Negro Leagues, right? In the Negro Leagues, everybody heard the Sunday, wear your Sundays best because they packed out the stadium with all blacks watching blacks people play baseball. It's the same thing. It's the 2023 version.
I love it. Listen, I heard you say a couple things I want to back up on. You said
Okay.
guys and girls. So
Yes.
do you also support softball players? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And we support young ladies that play baseball. One to mention is my niece, Amira Hondras. I know she'll probably watch this later on, but Amira Hondras was the first young lady to make the Chicago White Sox ACE program.
What? Really?
Yes. Type it in, Amira Hondras. She's the first young lady to make the Chicago White Sox ACE program, and now she's a freshman in high school. I've been coaching her since she was 6 years old. She's a freshman in high school, and she had some varsity games for Thornwood High School. Yes. We have another young lady, Zaria Hatcher. She just converted over to softball. So she's played in the Baseball for All. It's an organization. They do marvelous work. Shout out to Baseball for All. They're doing some work with young ladies playing the game of baseball and continue to play the game of baseball. Major League Baseball has the Grit series to where they bring in all the young ladies still playing baseball. That is a thing that's happening. Young ladies are playing baseball, right? So you got baseball and softball, which is.
Oh, I know. I look a little confused, only because me growing up, I saw very few of those. One, my brother's team went to the TOCs when they were doing Little League, and there was a Desiree Rook, and she was the only girl on the team. She was a freaking boss. I think her kids play now. They live out here in LA, but Desi was the only girl I had ever seen that can just do it. I mean, she did the damn thing. So it's incredibly impressive to hear more girls doing that, because back in the day, that was very rare. So kudos to y'all for, being able to do that. That's dope.
Absolutely.
I love that. Okay, so coaching is something special, right? Everybody that can play a sport doesn't necessarily mean they can coach. How did you get into coaching, and how have you actually been able to take something you were good at and be able to teach it to other people and get better at it to even grow an organization that's centered around it?
So I got into coaching. My high school coach, I actually came back and he begged me to coach, right? So I actually started helping him as his assistant, Ernest Radcliffe, at Morgan Park High School. So sitting back, learning from him, the different times to, kick the kids in the butt. Not this is literal, not figuratively. When to pick them up, when to kick them in the butt, when to motivate, when to, understand and appreciate. I think to answer your question, there's no cookie cutter approach. You have to learn how to coach, and the only way you learn how to coach is 2 things: mentors and experience, right? And you have to be open and honest. And in this coaching world, you got to know how to go home and say, I messed that up. You know what? I messed that up. But I'm going to get better at it, and then I'm going to figure this out. And then you also have to, a lot of times, and, I'm going to poke the bear right here for any coaches that hear this, every coach thinks they know everything. Trust me. I've been in that mindset before, too, with certain things. And I even had to take a step back like, wait a minute, let me hear. Because baseball is constantly evolving. And if we're not evolving and challenging ourselves as the leaders, guess what? The kids are going to be affected. So I think the high-performing coaches, the ones you see on TV, the College World Series coaches and the MLB coaches, they're constantly learning. And the thing is, they make the big bucks. And if they're constantly learning, what makes you think we're not supposed to at the amateur level? So I think with me and the actual teaching piece, I know me going to education in those undergrad classes of knowing child psychology and understanding every child is going to learn different. Every child is going to respond different. You cannot place, and this is this is one thing I always said. They say, yeah, every kid is different, right? Every kid is different every single day, which means this kid might, we're only with the kids from 2 to 6 hours a day. If you're not, it's an overnight trip and you're really not, that's not baseball, right? But if you really understand and know that it might be a situation, a time to where a child just doesn't want to be loved, right? You got to learn, and a child might not want to love you or listen to you right then and there, but you got to know how to navigate those waters and be consistent and be fair to where that kid is going to keep coming back. No, every kid is not going to person like you. It happens, right? But at the end of the day, if the parent and the kid can look you in the eye and say, he was fair, he or she was fair, I'm sorry, that's coaching. And then the second fold to that, can you develop a kid in a program to where if you're off the face of this earth or you move on to another stage of your life, that kid can pick up right where you left and take it to another generation, or to apply that same philosophy or practices you do to their everyday life. And then the third thing, not to be long-winded, but you open it up. This is the guru.
Give it to me.
This is the guru moment. You got to understand they're not going to remember what you taught them, right? They're going to remember bits and pieces and cues and codes of, oh, yeah, coach did say back on this bit. Coach said, do not swing at a breaking ball when it's 2-0, right? But the most impact that the thing that everyone remembers about a good coach is how they treated them. It's how they got treated. If they got treated, like, hey, man, this guy really built my mental capacity to be able to progress and, go on, or, man, this guy was a jerk to me. Like, they're going to remember that. They're not going to remember how to spin a curveball, right? They might, the little bits and cues and pieces, but if you ask a kid right now, and anybody that's listening, you ask a kid right now, what you learn from that coach? He might give you a half answer. If you ask him how you feel about that coach, he'll talk to you. He or she will talk to you for an hour.
Yes, 100%. You are dropping gems. I want you to answer this for me, and no disrespect to anybody that's out there volunteering their time, but when should daddy ball end? Because I've seen it ruin a lot of potential and talent. When should daddy ball and daddy coaching end and be handed over to those that are ready to really prep their sons and daughters for next level?
So I'm going to answer that in two parts, right? I'm going to give you the short answer, right, from my experience, what I know, and then I'm going to give you why you see so much daddy ball. So let me go to the first answer. In my professional opinion, right, for whatever it's worth, I believe after 12 years old, you should let your kids go. After 12. Reason why I say after 12, if I'm going to scientific mode, after 12 is when, the hormones are kicking in like crazy, right? They're mature, getting a little bass in their voice, or young ladies are developing, young men developing, So I believe it's the age of 12, because now you go from like either 6th or 7th grade to 7th, 8th grade. So I really believe after the age of 12, right? Because now the kids are in tune with their emotions, right? And it's hard, in my opinion, it's hard for parents to not focus on your child during the game. Like my kid is like right now, my kid is 5 years old. It's T-ball. And I'm not coaching him. I'm not coaching EJ because I'm going to go directly into dad mode. And these other 10 or 11 kids, I know I'm not going to be able to focus on. Yeah, I could fake the funk, but that's not genuine. So I believe it's 12, right? Because you're not going to find, you're not going to find a bunch of coaches that's walking around with pro experience saying, I'm a coach 5, 6, 7, 8. That's very rare. So you have to depend on those dads because they're always there, right? But I do believe, in my opinion, it's after the age of 12. Now I'm going to go to the second part. I think why you have dads coaching after 12 is kind of either one or two reasons. The organization doesn't have enough coaches, right?
Right.
So they have to depend on that dad because he's always consistent and stuff. Or the second thing is the dad is controlling and wants to do it his way and thinks his way is better than anybody else's. And I hope, somebody might rip me up in the comments, but I've seen that more than often, right? dad doesn't get his way or something like that with one organization, they stop, pull out, and start another organization, quote unquote, for their child, right? But what does that teach the kid? If something don't go your way, just quit, right? And as an adult, initiating it. So, you know, we see this a lot, and I'm going to dive deep into this in the travel baseball space, in the rec baseball space, and little league baseball space. You see a lot of males and men and some women, you know, they put their personal, whatever they got personally in their minds and against other adults, you know, before the progression of each kid, right? Every kid ain't, I get it. Every kid ain't gonna play, every kid ain't gonna be the best, but the kid that's the best at 8 ain't gonna be the kid that's the best at 17. It just will not happen. You got some occasions where some kids are just, they're gifts from God, right? You're not gonna beat that, right? They're natural, they're just gifts from God. But that main, we call it the 80%. The 80% where you get development and stuff, this kid, I'm telling you, I've seen it with my own eyes. This kid, JP Massey, prime example. Because I like people to do their fact check. JP Massey was a scrawny little small kid from 12, 13, 14. Kid got to be 6'5", 6'6" in high school, start throwing the ball 97 miles per hour, now he's in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. But if you'd have told somebody that when he was 11, they're like, no.
Right. 100%. I love that. So my kids play with LA Rockstars.
How old are your kids?
Well, Royce is done. He's 15 now. Well, okay. Yeah, he's 15 now. And then the twins, so Roman plays, he's 14, well, 13. He's 13 okay. Next week or in 2 weeks. One of the things that we've seen, which drives us nuts, and I know it drives Coach Eric nuts. I think I introduced you to him. There will be parents, like I said, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And these parents they feel like they should be playing every day and training every day and doing all the traveling every day. And why aren't we playing the best teams? And Coach Eric is more like, look, we're trying to develop skills and, you know, basic skills. They can't even catch the ball right, things of that nature. We've literally seen people leave the program because they're not doing all the things and playing the best teams and traveling the furthest. At like 12, 13, 14, like what should parents be looking to do or see happen with their kids' team at 11, 12, 13?
So once again, we can't put that into one cookie cutter or under one umbrella. So the way I see it is because I see the market, right? So I see the back end that you as parents don't see, right? This is a business. It's $1 trillion business. So those programs, the tournaments, right? They make 100. Some tournament directors are making 6 figures, right? Throwing baseball tournaments. So we have to make this stuff appeal as though, man, this is the exposure. This is this. It's all fluff, right? Because it's all fluff. But in the same token, I think to answer your question, it depends on the level of the child, right? So you got to look at it to where you're not just matching like a 12 and 13-year-old up with their region or their state. You know, you got to look at the world, right? It's a complex answer, but I think it just depends on the age and the experience. And, you know, if you got a kid that's, you know, they're okay. You don't need to spend your mortgage traveling the world trying to chase a trophy, right? If you have kids, because, you know, some kids are good enough to travel and play for Team USA, right? Yeah. And, you know, but I'm going to give you a nugget. If your kid is that good, you ain't got to go pay nowhere. If your kid is that dang on good, trust me. I've been on the other end, like, what we got to do for this kid? You got to pay for it. If a kid is that talented and this organization wants him to come play with them, they will pay for everything.
They will pay for it, yes.
Because if he ain't that good, it's a hustle. So to answer your question, I'm getting back to this. I'm on the other side of this too. I hear the conversations like, look, you got to think, if I got a team with 13 people and I'm charging $3,000, I'm no mathematician. And then, you know, the uniform companies, the hotels, it's all a big hustle on the babies. And Coach see, it's something about the E's. We got it going on. But Coach Eric is absolutely right. But I'm going to push your thinking too. Coach Eric played pro ball and college ball and all, you know, in the pro. the average parent has not played a college sport or seen a high-level sport, so they think right here, right now, this is it because they have not seen the other side of it. So us who play college baseball and been around pros, we know, man, don't none of this shit matter until they get 15, 16, right? Don't none of it matter. Now, 15, you got to gear up and go because you got to get eyes on you if you want to go to college. I'm not going to lie. 15, but I say the investment now for all parents listening, you show your team, you want to pay for the training in them right now. Don't pay $2,500 for a 40-hour trip to Florida.
Right.
Pay $2,800 over the course of 6 months for hitting lessons with the right guy, fielding lessons with the right guy or young lady, agility, strength, even now, and I know this is going to sound, push. I know somebody's going to tear me up in the comments on this. Sports psychologist. I'm a component because kids go through so much emotionally. He or she at the plate. Dad is screaming, mom is screaming, coach is going to get on you. I got peers going to talk to me. And we're in that state where our kids are a little bit more fragile because they're exposed to more because of the internet. So, I was telling a parent that is in Atlanta that, calls me every now. I'm like, if I can give you any other advice, you got to look at your salary, right? You got to say, how much money can we allocate towards baseball, softball, whatever sport you might say? Put that money, slot it out for 12 months, right? Not talking about the fee, right? The fee is that's what you got to pay. Right. But as far as, travel, training, and majority of that budget needs to go into the training.
Yep. Talk that talk. And it's something about the E's, but this E happens to be a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. And
that's all right. He just chose the wrong side of 1911. We all make mistakes. We all swing and miss sometimes. He get another.
Here we go. Now listen, all this good talk that you are talking, and you have these 3,000 kids up at your event. What is next for Black Baseball Matters?
I'm glad that you asked that question. May 19th through the 21st, we actually have our 14U Invitational. One of the unique things about the 14U Invitational is not about chasing the trophy, right? We kept this tournament affordable. We're only charging $175 for the teams, so that just pays for the umpires, right? We're not making any money off of it. We want to showcase and have great competition where nobody's feeling pressed and stressed to go out and win a championship trophy. So we got the Nashville, we got 17 participating. So we have Chicago White Sox Ace. They have 2 teams in the tournament. We have the West Inglewood Tigers from Chicago. They'll have 1 team in the tournament. We have the Nashville Stars Foundation team. This is really exciting, led by Ro Coleman. Shout out to Ro Coleman. He won the national championship at Vanderbilt. We have 2 teams from Atlanta. Beast Mode. Beast Mode is the largest minority-owned baseball company in the Southeast. They have over 20 teams. Black kids playing baseball. Like it's magnificent things that's going on. And then last but not least, we have the Cincinnati Urban Reds Youth Academy. That's official. Cincinnati Reds Urban Youth Academy, led by Kevin Cole. They're bringing the team down. So we have wood bats. We got some wood bat sponsorships. We got some package stuff that we're giving to all the parents. We're going to have a DJ out there. It's like a baseball family reunion. So we're going to make a really cultured event so the kids to come out and really experience it. We're not commercializing baseball, right? We want to keep it authentic for our culture. Like I said, it's going to be wood bat so they can really feel, they can really feel the bat path and some really high level competition. All these program leaders put development first, but competition that it's going to be some noise talking out there. And that's what we want. We want to get them ready for that environment. We also, for this 14 Invitational, this is one of the things we partnered with Louisville Slugger Sports Science. What they're going to do is come out. They'll set up a little tunnel and everything on the side of the baseball fields, and they have an analytical machine. I'm going to mess it up. It's nice. I'm going to mess it up. They're going to kill me. But no, they're going to measure the kids' biometrics and how they stand, how they move, and they're going to swing off batting practice, and it's going to generate an AI report on drills that they can do to improve their swing, their foot pattern, and their actual agility and speed. So this is the same technology the Major League Baseball players are getting in the Power 5 D1s, and they're cutting it. This is a $700 deal, every time a player goes out and get this analytic. They're getting it for I think $100, and maybe even 120 or something like that. So they come on because they understood and knew we met, and I'm like, look, my families can't afford that. They got to make their money, right? They got to make something, right? Yep. They'll write the rest on the business end. They can write the rest off, but they got to be able to at least make some type of capital. But this is extraordinary. I'm getting tongue twisted because we're so excited because the hood has never seen this before, right? We're incorporating the data, that same data that the families of affluent neighborhoods are getting. We're going to provide that for our kids in our tournaments.
Man, you're going to be traveling.
That's right.
You're going to be getting around. Tell people how they can be connected, be involved. Like, where are you going to be at? Let the people know what's going on.
So this is first thing first. If you want to be involved, make sure you take my email down, coacheofg@gmail.com. You can shoot me an email.
It'll be in the captions.
Oh, it's on the caption. All right. You see it down there below. Follow me on Instagram, Coach E.O. of Guru. IG is, you shoot me a DM. I'll probably get back with you in a couple hours. So what's happening is we have our national circuit. What's going to happen is we're after May 19th through the 21st, we're going to host the Chicago White Sox are having Double Duty Classic, which is they honor Ted Double Duty Radcliffe in a summer all-star game. They bring the best kids, the best minority kids from California, Texas, Florida, Arkansas, all over the map. They give them vintage Negro League jersey, the East-West All-Star game. They play an All-Star game. So we'll be hosting the official tailgate there. We'll have some wonderful things going on, some skill competition, sign-ups for our camps and clinics. We'll have a DJ out there. We'll make it, it's going to be like a black baseball block party. That's in July. And then that's July 18th. I'm sorry. Let me back up a little bit. July 13th, we'll be in Atlanta, Georgia for mentoring valuable prospects. Greg Goodwin, he has a college showcase that he does, showcase games, and we're going to be there helping out, running some clinics and also giving out some goodie bags. We're going to have the merch on deck, and, we're going to make sure we live stream that. We're going to, what we like to do is collaborate with all organizations that have been doing wonderful things for minorities in baseball. So then July 22nd, we got to go to Milwaukee. July the 21st is Milwaukee Brewers Negro League Night. So we'll be bringing two teams to Milwaukee from Chicago to play in the Negro League Night. The Saturday, after the Brewers Negro League Night is going to be awesome. We connected. They'll have some Negro League still living players. Miss Patricia Biddle, she's the president of the Negro League Foundation. I know I'm screwing their official name up, but what they do is they're in charge of the living Negro League players. They're in charge of their appearances and different fundraisers and corporate events. So they reached out to us. We're going to collaborate with them. They're going to play the 10-year. We'll bring two 10-year teams. They're playing Beckham Stadium. Beckham Stadium is the oldest Black Little League in the world. So they're the first Black Little League back right there in Milwaukee. So we'll be playing their historic stadium. That'll be July 22nd. And then September 27th and 28th, we'll be back in Atlanta for Chip Lawrence for Pro Youth Foundation. They have a pro showcase and HBCU showcase for rising sophomores and juniors and seniors, right? That event, it's about 400 to 500 kids there every year. Kids get scholarship, get signed on the spot, and they also get some instruction. What? November, that's why I said we got a long calendar. Early in November, we'll be at the Buck O'Neill Conference in Phoenix, Arizona. The week after that, we're supposed to be coming out to LA. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but the week after that, the week before Thanksgiving, we're supposed to be in LA. The LA Crawfords, they have a Little League program. We're supposed to be doing some clinics and stuff out there with them. January, we'll be at ABCA, that's the American Baseball Coach Association, in Grapevine, Texas. So that's a big conference. Come learn about Black Baseball Matters, and we'll have some goodies and everything, depending on our budget,
I think you have a cheat sheet over there that you're probably going to need to send me so I can let everybody know about it.
Absolutely.
Or you can tell me if they have it, if you have it on your website, because that will also be in the captions, is the website and how to get in touch with you. But you just spit out a lot of great information and opportunities for kids to connect, for parents to get their kids seen, for opportunities for training, and just to be kind of in the mix with
Yep.
Black Baseball Matters. I want you to also share with me how much of this is on your app. Tell the people about your app and why they need to go download it.
Yeah, make sure you guys go to the Apple or Google Play Store, go download the Black Baseball Matters app. The Black Baseball Matters app is a one-stop shop to make sure that you're in tune and know the wonderful things that we got going on and the wonderful things that's going around the whole baseball world. It's an interactive app. Kids can go in there and make a playlist. Kids, we're now we have something in the pipe in the works. You guys heard it here first. We're gonna enhance it to BBM Develop. So we're working with Diamond Allegiance. It hasn't came out yet. But we're working through some things to where we can get our kids training regimens they'll have access to, like workouts, hitting drills that they'll be able to get at their fingertips for the families too.
So I hope you heard him say it. You heard it here first.
Okay? You heard it here first, yeah.
Yes, and make sure you get that app. I have it. I love it. I think everything you guys are doing is phenomenal. But I want to ask you this because everything you are saying is so amazing. You can't come up with great ideas and develop players the way that you've been able to coach unless you've had some of your own hard times and turmoil. What was your most difficult moment in baseball as a player?
As a player?
As a player.
Hitting the slider. Hitting the slider, man. That thing sent me on back, man. And like I said, I'm not being negligent or downplaying, someone who has stuff going on. But I was locked in and having a good time in college and high school. And I really wasn't, even times where I had to sit the bench and get off the bench, it was still good times because I was around my brothers and, my teammates and stuff. We was getting it going. But that slider, man, that tore me up. Mentally, it tore me up. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't hit the slider. That hard slider going away. Woo! It made sure that it sent me home. But as a coach, as a coach, I'm going to be very honest. The hard time that I have is holding my tongue, and I'm going to be very honest. I'm like an open book. It's holding my tongue when I see, the corporations. I'm not going to throw any names out, but you got these big corporations and these millionaires, blah, 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 saying that they're doing stuff for baseball, right? For minorities in baseball. And then it's so many African Americans with boots on the ground. It's not that we're not playing. It's that they're ignoring us completely. And they're putting on this, like a lot of people are putting on a facade. And this is, you see, I'm grasping with it still. It's hard not to, confront it because I'll be transparent. You confront it, they're going to blackball you, right? So that's the hardest thing that I'm having right now because I see all these initiatives. I see they're throwing around millions of dollars to millionaires, and that money's not hitting the hood where it belongs. Like, prime example, if you have an organization who got $150 million, right, over the course of 10 years, right, and you have, let's say, 500 Black youth, you can give everybody 70, and let me pause. We're not begging, right? If y'all ain't gonna give it to us, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna figure it out. But I'm just saying in retrospect.
They're being very performative.
Right.
They're saying all the things, but they're not doing the things that they're saying.
And that is the number one problem I have. And you can show this to MLB, you can show this to NCAA. It don't matter who it is. I've been in meetings speaking my tongue. I've been in meetings. I do not care because guess what? It's about them babies first and then the community and the families, right? So
but what happens is you are actually able to show them where what they are doing is not lining up with what they are saying. As many conversations as I've had with you, I've realized you're very tactical in having these conversations to make sure that at least it ends with an understanding or some funding.
Yeah.
So I guess my question would be, how do you, or have you had an opportunity to turn things around? Have you been in conversations where you were able to point out, listen, sir, you're not doing what you said you were going to do. This money's not going where you said it was, and find ways to get them to turn it around? Or does it usually end and we just gonna have to agree to disagree?
So for the most part, it ends in a way, we'll get back with you, we'll do this. And rather than me focus my energy on somebody who does not, they ain't gonna figure like we gonna focus our energy on how we figure it, how we're gonna raise the capital, how we're gonna keep pushing it, how we're gonna keep creating opportunities for the Black and brown kids to stay and perform at a high level in the game of baseball. So we're not, like I said, that's the kind of push and pull, but we refocus our energy on what we know what's right and to keep pushing this minorities to keep playing the game of baseball and excel in the game of baseball.
Yeah. When we travel, it's always interesting to see the look on people's faces when they see a team of Black and brown kids. Why, in a sport that at one point was dominated by Black and brown, are we now in a moment where that brings a level of awe? What is that about?
So the teams that you guys are playing are probably the most affluent, the top 1% of income earners in America. And the top 1% of income earners in America probably doesn't even be around minorities. They might see minority, they see us on TV. So when they see us in person, and then especially in baseball, America's favorite pastime, they don't, it's a shocking moment for them, right? Then they see.
But that's crazy because it was shocking for me to not see it growing up. That's why I'm like, how did we even get to this place where what I saw growing up is a rarity now?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be fully transparent. They strategically and systematically pushed us out the game because we know the price gouger, right? But I'm gonna go deep into the business aspect of it, right? NCAA, you can't get a full scholarship in baseball. So guess what, Tyan? I don't know your salary. Even if you're well into six figures, you can't afford a $500,000 tuition at the end of 4 years, no matter how much middle class you are, right? It's not going to happen. So if I got to choose between basketball, which is fully funded, scholarships, or football, right? And it's easy for the kid to play, and the average family gonna choose basketball or football, the Black families, right? And then you gotta understand, let's dig deep into the business aspect about Major League Baseball. They advertise and put a lot of marketing dollars, the companies behind Ken Griffey Jr., Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders. Those are all in one kind of era. If you really take a step back, that was early 90s that they really pushed them in baseball, right?
Yep.
They have the steroid era, and then after that, Blacks declined. It started declining after that. And it's not just because of the game of basketball. It's because they didn't market the Blacks in baseball the way they used to. Tim Anderson just won 2 years ago the batting championship. He don't got a commercial out, right? Who else? We got they're not marketing. And I put like this: you've seen a Mike Trout commercial before. No pun on Mike Trout, dog, right? But they do not market the African American baseball player at the highest level the way they should. And then think about it. They did this whole thing about 2 years ago. Last year, 2 years ago, they had out of the top 5 picks, 4 were African American, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing that they're going to tell you, one was Andrew Jones' son. He's a millionaire, right? Tamar Johnson, his family is, they're not rich or anything like that, but they're more affluent, right? None of them top picks came from the hood like that because they wouldn't be able to afford the training, right? Cam Collier, he was 5 or 6 or something like that. His dad played pro baseball. So they're going to use the African-American face to check that DEI box, and that's it. What they're not doing is putting their true capital behind those Major League Baseball players right now. And that's where you started if you want to look at the top. Of course, we know the grassroots and building up and everything like that. But in my opinion, this is just me. Somebody could probably going to give me some stats behind it. But I look at Jason Hayward. He wasn't marketed right. And when he was in his prime, he came to the Cubs, he struggled. Josh Harrison, African-American for the Phillies. They only use their faces on the Breaking Barriers 42 day, right? So I'm telling you, I keep it real. Like, just sit down and think about it. And I heard this, my homegirl, Lost Words, she did an article on it at the Chicago Tribune. We always throw around, oh yeah, this is Jackie Robinson, they honor his legacy. There's no educational piece behind that, right? They just say honor his legacy. You're not going to speak about what bringing Jackie Robinson to Major League Baseball did to Negro leagues, right? We didn't create a fund to keep the Negro league sustained because we took Major League Baseball took their best players, right?
Yeah.
We honor them with like, and I was even not to be long with it, but this is what needs to be out here. Somebody sent this to my phone talking about Satchel Paige is on the video game. I said, whoop they do. They're honoring him and they're going to make money off Satchel Paige because they're going to pry on the black dollar, right? But they're not. I'm telling you, it's another level behind the capital, the money in black baseball players. It's just not. It's just not right. It's not equitable. Everybody talks a good game, and to get back to the honoring the legacy, everybody's going to wear number 42 on Jackie Robinson Day. Oh, okay. We're going to put some black kids on the camera and take a picture. Oh, okay. Now what? Now, has that really transformed black baseball? Did that help this 7-year-old that's contemplating football or baseball? It's great. I'm not knocking it. It's great, but it's just surface level. And we keep falling for the surface level material and thinking that it's commendable.
And now any book that he might be in, they want to ban that. But that's a whole different conversation. We'll leave that there.
I'll talk to him.
We'll leave that there. So listen, let the people know, because I could talk to you all day about this stuff because I absolutely love it. But let the people know how to get in touch with you, your social media handles, so they can connect and follow your journey because it's a good one.
Matter of fact, make sure you guys go visit coacheofguru.com. Check out the website. There's a lot of great information going on there. You can rep the brand, support, get some merch. Follow me on all social media platforms, Coach E.O. of Guru. Make sure you also follow the Black Baseball Matters page. We got some really good things that we're about to really push out on social media on Black Baseball Matters. My email is coachefg@gmail.com. And yeah, I'm very I'm like 7-Eleven. The phone's always open.
He is. He's not lying or embellishing. But all that stuff will be in the captions. I just love for you to have the opportunity to let people know that you are open to connecting. And if you don't, that's on them. But I want to thank you for taking the time. I look forward to continuing to follow this journey that you are on. And hopefully we'll, see you out here in LA if I don't catch you in Chicago somewhere.
Come on, we coming. Hey, like I said, we just got to make sure the budget aligns and everything, but we coming. We're going to
make it happen. All right, guys. Yep. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for showing up to the podcast where we all know that the best leaders are lifetime learners. When you get a sec, take a moment, leave a comment. What do you think about today's episode? And share it with someone that you know could use the gems that were dropped today. Follow and subscribe. You don't want to miss who's coming up next. You never know who could show up here and what they could say. For your professional needs, marketing, PR, communications, and leadership, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Sand and Shores or hit us up at sandandshores.com. Again, thanks so much for showing up. We appreciate you and we'll see you soon.